If you can create a formula that works really well through ads, then you can replicate that every month.
Right.
That kind of thinking pushes back on tweaking the ads every single month, changing the ads every single month.
Yeah, Google in particular takes a lot of time to trust what we're doing. If you're 2 months into a new campaign and it's, quote, not working yet, and you want to change everything about the campaign, we're just going to be starting over at that point. That is the problem right there.
Because now you're just scattered, and
Yeah.
Google probably sees you as this almost like schizophrenic identity out there. Like,
That is a good way of putting
like, what are you
it.
trying to be? Like cosmetic and implant one day,
Yeah.
but then Invisalign and
Right.
you know.
It doesn't have any chance to gather that and categorize you
Right.
yet.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the 88 Show. This is the internet's only show.
Only show.
The
only show available.
Where we talk about what matters most in marketing. I'm your host, Joshua Scott. I'm sitting here with Carly. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. It's Inauguration Day, actually.
Oh my God, it is.
We are recording
Wow,
this on Wednesday,
January 20th.
early afternoon, Inauguration Day. Has nothing to do with the show, but just thought I'd put that out there. You recently celebrated a birthday.
I did.
Yeah, and you were
Yep.
gone. You actually took some time off.
I did. I
which
took some time off. It was really nice. Much needed.
Was approved. It's fine.
At the last minute.
Long weekend. It's fine. No, how was your birthday?
It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very relaxing. We had a good time. So.
Good, awesome. But we're sitting here, we're talking about this month's trade secret, which is digital ads. And you wrote the article for this month.
Yep.
What's the article called?
The article is called Digital Advertising for Dentists.
Sweet.
How it works and why you need it.
Yeah, and fun fact is you just decided that just now.
I did, yep. I had a couple in the works, but you put me on the spot, so that's what I picked.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, world.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, we were before the show. I said, "What's the title of the article?" And she had 2 or 3, and
Yeah.
so yeah, she just picked one there. It may or may not be that, but we are going to talk all things digital ads today because it's such an important topic.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not thinking about digital ad strategy in your marketing strategy, it's probably an incomplete strategy.
I think so.
So let's start with why you are our digital ad specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about how you got into that space and what makes it so compelling for you personally.
Well, I kind of just fell into it.
Okay.
This was something that, I've been in digital marketing for a while now in my professional career, and I think digital advertising in particular kind of alerted me just in the sense of it's so effective and there's so much potential there, and it's constantly changing and it's constantly evolving. And I was able to see firsthand how it helps small businesses grow, and that to me was really rewarding.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask is what was the most rewarding aspect to you, because you actually have this like energy about it to where you actually really like it.
Yeah.
I
really do.
Because I just mean like in other agencies, digital ads can kind of just get pushed over to all the geeky
It's
kind
like
of data.
boring or it's dry. I don't feel like it's dry.
Yeah.
I think it's more exciting than I think some people realize, because there is so much there to work with and you get to be creative. And yeah, you're looking at data, but you're looking at it in a way that's helping real people. Like, there are real people on the other side of that. There are real businesses. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what even drew us to you and bringing us on the team, was just finally meeting somebody who was like passionate about digital ads.
The one person.
We found her, the one person in the world.
Yep.
So, okay, obviously no shortage of marketing opportunities for dental practices. It's not usually a matter of how to market, like how they're going to market. It's usually a matter of where, like with all the possibilities, where are we actually going to invest? Why are you a proponent for digital ads?
Well, in short, they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to be spending marketing dollars anywhere, digital ads are one of those things that it needs to be part of your strategy no matter what. I think that in a lot of instances, people overlook it because it is kind of more on the pricey side, or it can be depending on what you're trying to do. But when we're talking about effective ways to get a return on your investment and actually track that investment, you're able to see those results right away. I think it's really just, I think that it's kind of a no-brainer in that sense.
Yeah. In a world and profession that's so focused on SEO, you argue that you might actually be overlooking an even more important play, which is digital ads. But where do ads excel in a way that SEO maybe falls short?
I think that I do really think that like both of these strategies combined work really well together.
Okay.
I don't want to say that SEO isn't effective and it's not important. It absolutely is. But I think where it lacks is this aggressiveness that advertising has, where we kind of, in the marketing world, we kind of talk about it like these two strategies. You've got the oven strategy, which is your SEO, and you've got your microwave strategy, which is your ads. Both of which are trying to get you onto these platforms, these channels like Google, where people are going to find you, but advertising is so much more aggressive. And you're basically paying to be at the top. SEO, you can't pay to be at the top. You have to wait. You have to, there's time that's involved. Where advertising really can kind of shortcut that.
And I feel like you're like in your zone right now. You're just dropping all the truth. But
it's because I love this, and I'm the only person who does.
It's clear and obvious. But even that concept, I don't think a lot of us even think that way of, if you're not there, a competitor is. And so there's like real low level marketing, which is, I need new patients. Boom, like, give them to me. Like, let's spend money, give them to me.
I need leads,
but then there's like higher level elevation of taking up real estate so that even other competitors don't get it, or saturating the market more, or speed. So it's a huge point. I love that. Some of this I always encourage clients when we're talking to them, like, we're really trying to create a little bit of an algorithm or a formula here. And if you can create a formula that works really well through ads, then you can replicate that every month. I mean, it just kind of keeps on going. So some of it too is like that kind of thinking pushes back on tweaking the ads every single month, changing the ads every single month. And I know you just visibly like shook your head.
I don't like that.
Tell me why.
It really has a lot to do with Google trusting us. And I'll use Google as an example mostly because Facebook's a little bit different, but Google in particular takes a lot of time to trust what we're doing. If you're 2 months into a new campaign and it's, quote, not working yet, and you want to change everything about the campaign, we're just going to be starting over at that point. Changing all these little things every couple months is fine in the sense of, we're making optimizations because we're looking at the data and saying, yes, this is what we need to do. But just changing things for the sake of changing things is not going to help. It's only going to make it harder to track that data. It's only going to make it harder to have this baseline to say, this is what we know and this is where we can make optimizations. And oftentimes what it can do is really can kind of hinder that campaign and kind of choke it out before it actually has a chance to grow. It's a really interesting point, because even this last week, Josh Brown and I were on a call, and it was this conversation around SEO and keywords. And they could have 5 keywords a month, and they could change them whenever they wanted to. And she was like, I haven't changed them in a while. Maybe that's part of the problem. And I was like, actually, changing those would be the problem. That is the problem right there.
Because now you're just scattered, and Google probably sees you as this almost like schizophrenic identity out there. Like,
that is a good way of putting it.
Like, what are you trying to be? Like cosmetic and implant one day, but then Invisalign, and
it doesn't have any chance to like gather that and categorize you yet.
The best ad campaigns get into this almost like formulaic, where I love what you said. Here's the numbers I throw out to people. So you're welcome to challenge me if you don't think any of these are right. But I tell them, for about our campaign, like a Google campaign starts at $1,500 a month. For that, I usually say around 25 contacts. Okay.
20 to 25.
20 to 25 contacts, which is like phone calls and forms.
Just people reaching out.
The majority of those, I would say 80%, 85% are usually calls in my experience.
Most of them are calls. But we do that on purpose though. Because we put call extensions on our ads, and we make sure that calls are the easiest way to get in touch with the practice. So it's one less thing that somebody has to do.
We want the calls. You're not, okay, so 25 calls, the practice isn't gonna convert all those.
No.
I think I tell them somewhere between 8 to 12.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's like if they're getting that, so even if we shot like 10 new patients from that, then like 10 come in, 10 do appointments. So you're basically $150 to acquire a patient through Google. And I think that's a real just healthy benchmark. And when you look at it like that, like $1,500 a month may seem like a lot, but if you get 10 new patients, and I'm like, honestly, if you think you can get a new patient for less than that externally, like that's a great price. I think the way consumers search is we search for something, you're gonna click on 4 to 6 of those. I think a couple of them are ads. So if you're in that mix, great. But then it's honestly the best website. Like the ads was the entryway, but then it gets proven out.
Exactly. The best website really does win at that point.
Yeah.
It actually, it doesn't really even have as much to do with what your ad says.
Yeah.
As much as we would, we as advertisers do focus on what the ad says. It really doesn't matter that much. It matters more what your website looks like and how it functions, and is it user friendly.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, going back to original statements, have a nice website first.
Right.
Nobody's going to really read your ad.
Yeah. Because again, going back to like, okay, if you just do ads,
Yeah.
you're going to lose a big portion of that to people that click 3 or 4 things, and they're going to go with the best site. And if it's not yours, you're just kind of wasting that money.
I think so.
Last point here, you just made, Google. Sometimes people get in and they're like, oh, I want to see the Google ads, and they're expecting them to be this like really creative piece of work.
Yeah, I know.
Facebook, there's a lot more of that, right?
Yes.
Like Facebook, we have so much more flexibility.
Oh my gosh, so much more.
We can start the conversation about their story and all that stuff. Google, everybody gets the same 140. I don't know what it is, but
you get 90 characters in your description and 30 in your headline.
right.
So
and no color changes, no images, no bold, it's just all the same.
And we're also talking about like trying to find, make sure the keywords are in there.
Right.
Like it's very limiting. It's not as creative, I think, as people think in that aspect.
Yeah.
So.
I think when you're working with an agency, I think it's less about in Google, it's less about the creativity of the ad, and it's more about working with people, the analytics on the back end, and the getting the campaign into this like sweet spot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because the clients, I think that want that creative liberty with the ad. It's just like, look, we know what needs to go in these. Like out of that 130 characters, we know what like 111 of those need to be.
Right.
And you can't mess with them.
Yeah, like as much as you want to talk, you might want to put in some like, fancy description line or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't have the word dentist in it, nobody's going to see it.
Right.
So, sorry, I got to keep the word dentist in there, I got to make sure that your city is in there. I got to make sure that these major things are there. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Well, goodness, appreciate your input.
You're welcome.
For sure.
For brain dumping on you today.
Yeah, the expertise is, I think the rest of the room's just in awe.
Or they're just bored.
No, the digital ad halo glow around you is...
I know, I'm feeling very energized.
It's big right now. It might just be the light behind you
Maybe
and the reflection, but no, appreciate it. If people want to pick up the article, where's the best place to go to read it?
Go to sae8.com, and it's in our trade secret section.
Yeah. So. And honestly, I mean, we got into a ton more. It's even in the article.
Oh yeah. I honestly, again, I think that there's so much more that could be talked about with the digital ad perspective. The article is really based more about, just kind of talking logistics on where you should start, what you should think about before you start, some areas in which to think about there. So a little bit more practical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this was helpful.
I think it would be good this year. We should probably slate one in for just like dental implant marketing. I think that's a whole nother topic on its own that we could talk about.
Yeah.
And so many practices that we work with have had great experiences, and just some of the things we've done and tried. So
no, absolutely. I think that would be a really good one
great.
too.
Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. That wraps up another episode. It's actually episode 137. We didn't talk about that. There's no significance with that number, just in case I knew you were probably wondering.
I've lost track, honestly.
137 coming at you from the Studio 88 offices. Guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Catch you on the next episode.